I thought first half we were excellent. Really good, dominate the game. Game should have been over at half time. That was the frustrating bit that we like I said, we completely dominate, create chances. We just should have put the game away. And when you don't do that, the other team are obviously always in the game, and that was the case. Second half, Pat started the first 20 minutes, the better team, 25 minutes. We were sloppy in what we were doing. They took control, and then after that, then we came back into it again, and disappointed that we haven't won the game, obviously.
Mason was afforded a fair bit of free space for that first goal, wasn't he?
Yeah, they made the wrong decision. He was obviously supposed to be marked, but at the last minute, the players adjusted, and look, we give them that freedom, and we trust them to make decisions. The one they've made tonight is the wrong one in terms of freeing him up. We shouldn't have freed him up, and he's too dangerous in the box, obviously, and when I felt him, he's obviously taken it, but yeah, poor goal. Yeah.
Sense of 2 points dropped?
Yeah, definitely, especially after, I think, 70 minutes of the game with a better team, especially first half was probably some of the best we played, and like I said, the game should be over, it should be done, and then when you're 2-1 up with 4 or 5 minutes left, we make a poor decision in possession, give away a free kick, then we give away a corner, second, third phase, and they obviously score from it. So yeah, we're really disappointed that we haven't won the game.
I know we spoke about him on Monday, but sort of back to back for Jack, 2 full games, and seems to be signs there he's coming back.
Yeah, I think you could see it there tonight. It looked like he got his second wind, maybe in around 65 minutes, and then he just stuck around again, and some of his touches were, like you said, look back to himself, and we know he'll only get better. The more games he plays, the fitter he gets, sharper he gets. But I think you see tonight, you seen it on Monday, but you see tonight he's right there in terms of levels. Like, you know, he's in a good place.
What have you made of the week? Obviously there was quite a high profile statement from.
You just did well. It took you 5 minutes. It's just done well.
Yeah. What
2.5.
I
2.5.
don't know what the sleep was in minutes, but
2.5 days.
what did you make of it all? It's obviously it'd be strange to see those sort of headlines coming out, but obviously Dermot's felt strongly about what he's put out there.
Yeah, he has. He's obviously felt strong. He doesn't come out publicly often in anything he does, so he's obviously felt really strong. And we obviously have to listen to that as a club. I've talked the last 2 or 3 years, 4 years maybe, and I've raised concerns about certain things, and the reason is because I could see this building, and I know people at the time were probably saying he's complaining about budget, he's complaining about this, and I could see things building, I could see the red flags, and yeah, it's obviously got to the point obviously where the statements have been released, and yeah, that's where it is, I suppose.
It's just turmoil at the club at the moment. Do you feel that where you're sitting?
I think you just have to look at that performance, and
Yeah.
the Dublin Derby away to what would be classed as a title challenger. First half was different level, like, you know. There's my concern, my only concern is the team, and making sure they're right, and making sure that they're in a good place, and we keep improving, keep building. I love where they are. I love where they are in the head. So I can understand what you're saying, of course, but for me, the team are in a really, really good place, which is so important for me. That's the most important for me. So I just stay focused on that, and make sure they're right for Monday. Recover from this, see why we didn't win the game, which we should have won, and get ready. But there's definitely zero turmoil within this, which is so important for me.
Do you feel fully supported by all the elements of the club? Obviously, the statements come out today, the members' board saying that they're fully supportive of management. Do you feel that?
Look, to be clear, the members section of the club have been incredible for me, and are the cornerstone of the club. I think that's quite clear. I do know in the past there's been directors that haven't supported me, and have made things very, very difficult for me and uncomfortable, and that was intentionally done. I know that for sure. But like I said, the members club is very, very important to this club, to me. They're the cornerstone of the club. They're the 50% shareholders in the club. So, but like I said, if people had been listening to me last few years, I've raised issues, and maybe people have got sidetracked into what they weren't, in the small-minded things where I was seeing the bigger picture.
You're 10 games in, Stephen. Where do you see your side at now?
Fair play to
After
you
the
going back
start?
to the match. Fair play to you. I'll just talk to you from now on. I really like where we are. I think we've left a few points behind tonight as an example. But I really like where we are. The important thing for me this year was that we got our identity back, and I've no doubt we have that. I know if these players show up like they have so far this season, in terms of every day, every week you feel the energy, you see it. Obviously the quality's there for everyone to see. If they bring that, I know we won't be found wanting this year, you know, because that's so important. We hadn't got that last year. I think you could feel a sense of Europe made us go a bit, but we've never been the team to rise our standards for a game, and that's what was happening last year, and for different reasons. Where this year they're on it, and again for a lot of different reasons. But I'm really happy where they are, like, you know, in terms of identity and what they're bringing to the game. Frustrated tonight, but that's football.
Stephen, sorry, you've said you've raised this for the last 3 or 4 years, probably.
Yeah.
Would it ever reach a point where you think I'm enough?
It does get tiring. I'm not like, let's be honest, I have a 6 son at home who's right now in bed. He's going through chemo. It's difficult, you know. It's at times it can be hard. There's no getting away from that, and that's why I've raised throughout the years, and there's been things happen that is not good enough and not acceptable, and your question is, I love what I do. I'm lucky to be in this position. But can it become difficult and mentally tough, and can it take its toll on you, your body? Of course it can. And like I said, when I'm dealing with everything else outside of football, and that's life. I understand everyone has issues and has problems. It can become tiring at times, and it's up to me to, with the people around me that I trust and love, to manage that as best we can. And I try to do that as best I can. Sometimes I get it wrong, sometimes I get it right, but I'm answering it the long way around. Yeah, it can get tough, it can get draining, but over time you do learn how to manage it. And what's really important for me is something that I really have to keep to the forefront of my mind, and that is family, health, and the football team. And I owe these players and the dressing room so much, because they've helped me on a journey, so I owe them that. So that's I have to make sure I stay focused on what's really important for me. And once I do that and reset myself and ground myself again, I get that energy again, which is important. But only time allows you to do that, and the help I have around me with Mary and my family, obviously, and the people I trust. So yeah, there is a lot in it.
So what needs to happen at the club behind the scenes with whatever's going on to ensure that stays on an even keel in relation to what happens on the pitch?
Well, there obviously needs to be real stability behind the scenes, you know. I think you've got to, I think that's quite clear in any club or any walk of life or any business. Stability is important, you know, and we need that as a club going forward. Like I said, the team's in a really good place. Probably the most successful year, not win the league last year, but they probably ever had as a club. So it's really important we stay focused on what's important. I understand stuff that's going on in the background, and like I said, I've been flagging it for a long time. Dermot's come out and spoke. He doesn't speak very often, so when he does, people listen, and people need to listen. And our shareholders need to. It needs to be. There needs to be a commonality somewhere along the line, and there needs to be change where we can take the club in one direction. Like I said, I spoke about this last year, but people thought I was fighting for a budget or fighting for something else. I could see this coming a mile away.
In the statement that came out today, the members were saying they want to have a meeting with Dermot Desmond. I think Ray as well. Would you want to be involved with that as well, considering what you always said?
No, I think if I'm asked to be involved, these people employ me, I'll be there. They're the boss. But what Dermot Desmond does, Ray Wilson does, and the members, in terms of the members board, do in terms of meeting or talking, they're in business a long time. They know what they're doing. If I'm asked to be there, like I said, I'll be there. They're the ones that sign the checks. They're the ones that run this club. They're the ones that employ me. They're my boss. So they decide what happens in that regard.
might sound obvious to us, but just what's the importance of Ray and Dermot to the club?
Sorry?
What's the importance of Dermot and Ray?
They're very important to the club. So important to the club to have people of Dermot standing involved in Irish football is very important. We have them involved in our club. Dermot invested in the club when we needed investment in the club to take the club forward. And there's a few years back, Ray and Ray's family have invested in the club for a long time. Ray's father, they've invested in the club a long time. Ray's a fan first and foremost. They're obviously clever businessmen in what they do. It's really important we have them involved in the club. And then on the other hand, obviously you've got the members who are the Stornock on off the club. And they're so important. But like I said, there's people, there's been directors in that room that have made things very, very difficult the last previous years, you know. Like I said, I've been talking about that for some time.
Stephen, just back to the game. Over the past 3 games, you made a lot of changes. Does that just show how important it is having a big squad going into what seems another close year for the title?
Yeah, the group's in a really good place. The more the season goes and the pitches get better and everything else, you'll see more of young Victor, Solo, Keane, Corey's obviously played a lot, so you'll see more of them ones play. But they're ready to play. They're in a good place. The squad's in a good place, like I keep saying. So it's really important when we make changes that doesn't weaken us. And you've seen that tonight. Aaron Magnuson has been excellent for us. Who comes off? Dylan comes off with the bang in the knee. So,
yeah. And
it looked like we didn't miss a beat. So that's really important.
Is there any updates on Danny Mandro?
Danny's not bad. We're looking at maybe another 2 weeks of Danny. We feared the worst.
Yeah.
And so did he, but the scans come back really good. He feels good. So it's about treating him clinically, and then obviously what the scan results say. But he's not bad at all.
Stephen, did you speak to Dermot this week at all?
Yeah. I spoke to Dermot. Yeah, me and Dermot have obviously a really good relationship, and I speak to him quite often about a number of things. So yeah, we had a good conversation.
Whereas is the frustration that came out in the letter visible in sort of your conversations with him as well?
Dermot's a shrewd businessman, has been for a long time, and knows what he's talking about. He's ran Celtic Football Club probably through the most successful time ever. He's won, I think, 21 titles out of 25 since he's maybe 26, since he's took ownership of the club. They've made money on and off the pitch. He knows what he's doing when you're talking about football. He knows what he's talking about. So like I said, he doesn't speak often publicly. And when a man of that standing and stature and understanding of the game speaks, it's important we all listen.